Hello, everyone. My name is Gloria Gavris, and I have the privilege and honor of serving on the Board of Directors for the Newton911 Memorial Committee. And before we start, I just want to take a moment and have everyone just think back to 11 years ago on a day very much like today, a beautiful, cool, and crisp September morning, and think about where they were when they heard the news that the U.S. is under attack. I know I, for one, was driving down the Mass Pike. I had just dropped off my 2 young boys at school, and I heard the radio report. And I remember feeling so much anxiety about the unknown, and then the horror of as the news unfolded, and then just such deep sadness as we learned about the victims of the 9/11 attack. We all were impacted differently that day, and we all share a different memory. But what we did share was the sense of unity and a sense of patriotism and a sense of pride in the USA, that no matter what, we would come back stronger and recover from September 11th. And similarly, Sandy Young had a memory from that day, and she also had an inspiration. And about 1.5 years ago, she said, why not build a 9/11 memorial here in Newton? Other cities and towns did. Why can't we? And in her own quiet and positive way, she built a grassroots effort. She built a team. She made phone calls. She sent emails out. She met with city officials. She raised money. And here we are today, proudly standing here, signified by 5 American flags on the lawn of the fire department headquarters, where the future site of the 9/11 memorial will be. And I want to thank Sandy on behalf of the Board of Directors and the committee for her tireless leadership and her attitude and her inspiration for this groundbreaking ceremony. I would now like to start our groundbreaking ceremony and first introduce the Mayor of the city, Seti Warren, and thank him and particularly his staff, Aaron Goldman, for all of their help and effort throughout the year, and a little bit more than a year, on putting this together. So thank you, Mayor, and if you could come up and say a few words.
Good evening, everyone. Before I just share a few words with you, I want to acknowledge my colleagues in government who are here with me and serve our great city. Senator Cindy Cream is here. Representative Ruth Balzer is here. Representative Kay Kahn is here. Alderman Greer Tan-Switson, Alderman John Rice, Alderman Ruth Ann Fuller, Alderman Deb Crossley, Alderman David Kalis, Alderman Jay Ciccone, Alderman Carlton Merrill, Alderman Lenny Gentile, School Committee member Diana Fisher-Gomberg are all here. Thank you so much for your leadership and joining with us today. Thank you for being here in service. I too want to thank the 9/11 Memorial Committee, in particular Sandy Young, for really seeing this through and making this happen. It takes so much effort and energy to bring a community together to put together a memorial that will live forever. And I'm grateful to you, Sandy, and the 9/11 Memorial Committee for really sticking with this and making it happen today. Thank you very much. I want to say a few words also about our first responders, the men and women of the fire department and the police department. They go to work every single day, and they don't know what dangers they're going to face. They don't know whether they're going to come home. And they see their jobs a little bit more than how most people see their jobs. When they put that uniform on, it doesn't matter what they may or may not face. So to the police and fire department, not just for being here, and to the fire department, not just in hosting this memorial, we want to thank you for what you do for us every single day. Please give a round of applause. This morning at Newton City Hall, we remembered those lives that we lost here on that tragic day. The deep pain and sorrow of those who lost loved ones, those who lost neighbors and friends, still remains with us. I just had a chance to chat with the Salih family, who many of you know, who lost a loved one on 9/11 and have an incredible institution in West Newton that they've built, a community institution that they've built. Thank you for your courage in not only facing the loss, but making Newton a better place with your institution. And I also want to acknowledge my friend who's here, Jennifer Price, who also had a loss in that terrible tragedy that day. I want to thank her for her courage and commitment to this city. We all know that day will live with us forever. We all know that we can never recover the deep pain that it caused this country and this community and communities all around the nation and around the world. But what we do know is that we live in an incredible city and an incredible country. And that when we face these types of tragedies, we come together and we recommit ourselves in different ways. And that's what we've done as a country after 9/11. We've recommit ourselves, and that's what people in this community have done. They've recommitted themselves to making this place and this community better. Shortly after 9/11, I enlisted the Navy Reserves. I did a year-long tour of duty in Iraq, like so many others, thousands of others. I was proud to wear the uniform of my country and go overseas and come home and serve this community. I know, and you know, that for us to be the kind of community we want to be, we have to continue that dedication. We have to continue to wipe down the walls of division and barriers. We have to continue to ensure that future generations of Americans enjoy the freedoms that we have today. And we're all doing it in our own ways, whether it's ensuring there's a memorial that's here so that when people come by Newton Center, they remember those who were lost and they remember how great this country. For those who serve in uniform for our city every single day, for those who teach in our classroom, for those who work in our community in different facets, whether an elected official or not, we have the chance to make our community better and continue that legacy of greatness here in our country. So again, thank you all for what you do. Thank you, Sandy, and the 9/11 community for making sure we never forget that day and who we are and what we're about. And I look forward to continuing our work together as a community. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And now if we could give one more rousing applause to Sandy Young, who's going to say a few words.
Everyone has a dream. For the past year and a half, mine has been to build a 9/11 memorial in Newton. I wanted a place to gather every year to honor the Newton residents whose lives were cut short on September 11th. I also wanted a beautiful place to go on any day to remember those lost neighbors, to reflect and to pray. Early in 2011, I read about the efforts of the Acton 9/11 Memorial Committee, and I did ask, why not here? Acton lost 2 people, Newton lost 8. I began asking friends and acquaintances if they thought a memorial was a good idea. There was such an overwhelming positive response that I called a meeting in May of 2011. I found myself with a room full of people. Some I knew, some I didn't know. We elected officers, we defined our goals. Enthusiasm for the project was contagious. Our committee grew. My dream became our dream. Our meetings with city officials were so encouraging that our dream became an obsession. We plowed through meetings, a design competition, media interviews, phone calls, presentations, emails, letter writing, and fundraisers. We were determined to realize our dream. The committee members know how much I appreciate them. Now that we're breaking ground, I have many more people to thank. Thank you to Mark Sangiolo, our architect, and Ellen Myers, who donated her piece of steel from the World Trade Center. Thanks to the city leaders, Mayor Warren, Aaron Goldman, Police Captain Gramada, and Fire Chief Proya. A special thank you to John McGivelry of Veteran Services, Jennifer Price, Principal of Newton North, Alfred Wojciechowski of the Newton Historic Commission, and Parks and Rec Commissioner Bob DeRubis for their kindness and their guidance. Thanks also to our elected officials, the Board of Aldermen, State Reps Kahn, Balzer, and Lawn, State Senator Cream, Congressman Frank, and Senator Brown. I reserve a very special thank you to the family members of the victims. Your encouragement gave us the strength to see the project through. And finally, thanks to the very generous donors in this great city of Newton. We would not be having this groundbreaking without you. Speaking of our wonderful donors, I would now like to introduce the fundraising chairman, Ginny Gardner. Ginny is always there when I need her. She is a great fundraiser and has become a great friend.
I echo Sandy's thanking all the political elected officials who came this evening. I won't list them again, but thank you. So many of you were so supportive by donating and giving your time, so I thank you so much. I also thank Sandy Young for her vision in the 9/11 Memorial and for her friendship. My official title is Fundraising Chair of the Newton 9/11 Memorial, so I will draw your attention to the sign next to me. My job is clear. I ask for money. So I take this opportunity to say, please contribute. We still need your dollars to maintain and fund this memorial. We have a Buy a Brick program, and for $100, you can remember with 9 words a prayer and belong to this lasting tribute to lives lost on 9/11. 16 months ago, the Honorable 9/11 Memorial Committee was formed. In this short time, we've almost reached our financial goal. And I want to thank the committee and all who contributed to this memorial with their generosity, their time, and their dollars. I ask you this evening to take yourself back to September 11th of 2001. It was a clear, beautiful September morning, not a cloud in the sky or a worry in the world. And in an instant, our world changed. 3,000 innocent people were brutally murdered. No words I can say can erase the horror of the day etched in our memory or ease the sorrow. Innocent people, policemen, firefighters, first responders, Good Samaritans immediately went to work to help, and they paid the ultimate price for being an American. They lost their lives. Think of your own life over the last 11 years. In my life, I was able to see my 3 children marry. I now have 2 very healthy grandchildren with another on the way. I can't imagine not having them, and I often think of Rama Sally's family. She was 7 months pregnant, and her baby was never born, and her grandmother never got to hold her. Those moments were stolen from her family. I was also able to enjoy my parents until their old age, and I was blessed to be with them as they took their last breath. Just like all of you. sharing countless moments of great happiness and the everyday ups and downs of life. Moments we take for granted. Our lives have changed, and now I do things differently. I stop military people and I say thank you. And I have a renewed respect for our police and firefighters and the job that they do. My American flag has been flown since September 11th in front of my house, and I tell the people I love them. 8 people from Newton died that day, but 3,000 of our fellow Americans were violently killed as well. Today we honor their memory and we officially break ground. We eagerly anticipate the completion and dedication of this honored memorial. We hope it will provide a sense of pride in our country, and it will reflect the character of the Newton people. We hope as a country, and now as a community, we will never forget. So I end where I began. Please contribute, please help us complete this project, and in your hearts, and in your prayers, and by donations, please help us. God bless all who died there that day and their families. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ginny. You always bring a tear to my eye whenever you speak. We're now going to have the shovel ceremony, and Tom Mountain is just going to announce the folks that have helped us out so much throughout the year, and just to take some pictures, and then we'll move on to the next ceremony.
Benjamin Franklin once said, "The spirit of America is the spirit of community." And nowhere, I think, in this country right now at this moment is that more evident than at this time and this place in our community of Newton. That being said, there were many, many people in this community who made this project, this dream come to reality. There were community members, community leaders, there were politicians, elected officials, members of the city government. So many people came together to make this a collaborative effort. Would the following individuals please come up, take one of the shovels, form a semicircle in commemoration of our memorial and those who died on that tragic day for the ceremonial groundbreaking. Mayor Seti Warren, Sandy Young, Ginny Gardner, the Commissioner of Parks and Recreation, Bob DeRubis, representing the corporate and small business community, Joe Prestigion,